Curtis Blades twice, Andrei Arlovski, Alistair Overeem, Cain Velasquez, Junior Dos Santos, Rosenstrike, Stipe Miocic, Ciryl Gane, and now Renan Ferreira. I just named 7 former champions, by the way. Now, you hear stuff like that, you hear names like that. Arguably, 7 former champions, great names, great legacies. That resume itself might arguably be the best resume in UFC history. Arguably. And definitely no question about it, it's the best resume in heavyweight history. Now, what if I told you that guy beat all those people by knockout? Aside from one guy named Ciryl Gane, in that fight, he went to decision and showed that he's not only an explosive, powerful striker, but he can wrestle. You probably like, yo, Kenny, you're making that up. Ain't no one ever done that. Those stats aren't real. These are just shit you're saying. What if I told you that guy also took his strengths and his skills to boxing, where everyone doubted him, and he went in there the first time against Tyson Fury, who was known as the best boxer in the world, and arguably beat the guy in a lot of people's eyes. Now, this guy's name is Francis Ngannou. Now, I really believe that Francis Ngannou is the best heavyweight fighter to ever walk the earth, ever, in history. And I'm saying this because he's beaten all the best champions in UFC. He took his talents to a whole different sport where people deemed this impossible. And I really feel like this guy is unmatched. You can't touch or compare Francis to any of these guys. That's the truth. He's levels ahead of everyone I've said. Like, it's just almost concerning how good this guy is. Now, I know a lot of people have their mixed emotions about him. I was live during his fight with Ferreira, and a lot of people, a lot of salty people were so mad at him. The majority was happy, but people with no lives, no hairlines, who don't amount to anything in life coming in the chat oh, he sucks, bro. Who cares, bro? This guy's a bummer. No one cares about him. Bro, what people don't understand about Ngannou is that this fight, do you know the stakes that went up to this fight that he just had with Ferreira, that he just took him down and finished? By the way, Ferreira built up to be one of the most dangerous first-round fighters ever. And that's true. Bro, 6'8", 85-inch reach, long-ass arms, orangutan, huge, powerful, crazy, scary Brazilian. This guy is scary as hell in the first round. This is a fact. But unlike that, bro, it's like Francis Ngannou's he's not fearful. He went in the fire. They both threw some wild shots, but Ngannou overall showed a very well-diverse game plan, took this guy down, and once he had him down, those ground-and-pound strikes put this guy's lights out. Now, leading up to this fight, like I was saying, bro, leading up to this fight, this wasn't an easy journey for Ngannou. First of all, dude got knocked out by Anthony Joshua, bro. After having so much success against Tyson Fury, he got brutally knocked out for the first time in your career. Now, I've noticed something with fighters. When they get knocked out in the first time in their career and they come back to fight again, they look a little bit hesitant, look like they don't want to be there. They look a little bit different and awkward. I've seen it with Kamaru Usman and Leon. After he got locked up by Leon, he came at Leon, but in a very different way, almost like he's a little bit more hesitant because he knows the risks that come with this. Ngannou, who in the UFC was looked at as one of the best shins in UFC history, he goes in there against these guys, takes some clean shots, eats them all, never got knocked out, barely ever got wobbled, goes in and gets knocked out for the first time. As if that wasn't enough. Bro, now you're going through a knockout. Now you're going to be your first time getting knocked out in your life. You're going to have to come back and go back to MMA, something you haven't done in 2 years. Because his last fight before that was 2 years ago against Ciryl Gane, a high-level striker. It's been over 2 years. January 2022, by the way. So that's almost 3 years now. It's been that long since you fought in an MMA octagon. You just knocked out. And then your son just passed away. Kobe, rest in peace. He just passed away. And at this point, Ngannou's thinking he has nothing going for him. There's no reason to be fighting. Life is just kicking him in the ass. But for some reason, he still takes the fight. And he takes the fight against Ferreira, this scary-ass first-round fighter out of everyone. Out of every option, he goes himself and puts himself back in the fire. I remember when he first took this fight, I was a little bit what the hell is even going on? Who would do this? I understand you're one of the best heavyweights ever. Why would you put yourself in this compromising position going against a scary striker like fucking Ferreira, who actually has some decent grappling as well? But he does it anyways. And he does it in the whole time in the build-up. You could just see that, he's not doing this for himself. Ngannou didn't go into this fight to prove that, yeah, I can still do this. I'm still a fighter. I feel like he went in there for the purpose of fighting for his son, as he should. And I give him all the credit, all the respect, because what he did was so much talent behind that. Everything he did was to a T. It was perfect. Goes in there, he shows he's the best. Now, I'm going to say this. Francis Ngannou is the best heavyweight on the planet, and I believe this. So I believe this fully. I look at every other heavyweight. First of all, Ngannou doesn't know what ducking is. What I see from this heavyweight division, specifically in the UFC. Let me just talk about the UFC. People don't fight the best, or people don't want to fight the best. Not really directed to Tom Aspinall, more directed to people like Jon Jones. He's the heavyweight champion of the UFC. He doesn't want to fight the best. Ngannou put himself in the fire against someone after going through all this adversity to his son, to getting knocked out, all this shit. Goes back to the MMA over almost 3 years off. Goes back in there and still takes the toughest test. While you have people like Jones yeah, by the way, I'm not fighting this guy who's interim champ, supposed to fight for the belt next. I'm going to fight the number 8 ranked guy who hasn't fought in fucking 2-3 years. And guess what? His last fight, he lost to Ngannou, the best heavyweight on the planet. Now, he's taking easy fights. fights. That just doesn't give me best heavyweight in the world. So I don't think Jones is better than Ngannou in any sense, in any way. And if they fought, are you kidding me? Ngannou with his good wrestling, good defensive wrestling, he's showing against Stipe in one of his more recent fights. He can defend takedowns really well. He even showed that he has offensive takedown ability. And we know that on the feet, no one wants to stand with this guy, because if you stand with him, you have a good likelihood of getting knocked out. I'm not worried about no Jon Jones. Now, a big thing is Tom Aspinall, though. Yeah, Tom Aspinall this, Tom Aspinall that. Tom Aspinall has never been in round 3, let alone on 4 and 5 championship rounds like, for instance, Ngannou has against someone like Ciryl Gane. We know Ngannou has the endurance to go the distance. We know Ngannou has the power to chin someone like Tom Aspinall, who keeps his chin absurdly, kind of weirdly high. It's almost like he wants to get chinned. Last one who did that against Ngannou, I believe, was Alistair Overeem, just keeping his chin really high. And I swear to God, Ngannou took that chin and put it even higher in the air with an uppercut, sent that shit flying. So yes, I see someone like Aspinall, very good first round fighter, similar to Ferreira. He's very good at first round, decent, good wrestling if he needs to, heavy hands, but he's very hittable. Sergey Pavlovich, who hit him, he caught him, he stunned him a little bit. People don't know this about Sergey. Look back at his fights. Not a lot of them are like one punch, he puts you to sleep. He kind of hits you and then follows up with it. And Ngannou really has that power to like put you to sleep with one punch. And if you get you on the ground to wrestle you, we've seen in his recent fight that he just had that he has the ability to ground and pound you to death. Now, I like Aspinall. He's a great fighter, great athlete, but I don't see much of a path to victory against Ngannou. Like, what's he going to do? Just shoot immediately? No, that's not going to work against Ngannou. He's too big, too strong, and too defensively sound in the wrestling department and offensively sound in the wrestling. What's he going to do? Stand with him? I don't think that'll do much favor to him either, considering how high he holds his chin. And at this point, if the round goes into the 3, 4, and 5, we know Ngannou has an experience to outlast people like this, like Tom Aspinall, who hasn't been experienced. We've seen Sergey Pavlovich, he had so much hype just like Tom Aspinall, goes in there, finishes everyone quick, this, that, and the third. But once he got out that first round against someone like Volkov, we saw how he started to fatigue, and he was just looking for one shot that just wasn't there. So when I look at Francis Ngannou, I see, first of all, I see a heavyweight with the best resume. No one can argue that. People could try saying Stipe has a better resume, but if we go name for name, Francis' resume is going to stack up way better than Stipe's. It just is what it is. Don't shoot the messenger. These are just facts. If we go from skill for skill, I see Francis Ngannou. I think he's the most well-rounded heavyweight on the planet right now. He has submission victories in his early in his UFC career. We see him just power through fucking Kimuras, all this shit, crazy shit. We see him wrestle people for 5 rounds like he did at Ciryl Gane. We see him knock out people early. We see him show knockout power every single round. And Ngannou's always dangerous, and he's very well diverse. I feel like after the Stipe loss, he kind of woke up and he kind of realized that, like, I need to get my defensive wrestling up. And once he got that up, I really believed that's when he became the best heavyweight in the world. Now it's just a matter of time. It just keeps going, and we keep seeing Francis Ngannou still look damn near unbeatable. So I'm really looking at Ngannou off of skill, he's the best in the world. Off of resume, he's the best in the world. There's nothing he's not like sufficient at better than other people. He's better at everyone than any. Like, I don't think anyone in the world beats him today. And it's not me hating. It's not me trying to like diminish Tom Aspinall, who's a very good up and comer who just hasn't been tested appropriately yet. Like, give Tom Aspinall Almeida, someone who's gonna wrestle him, take him down to the later rounds. Let's see if that herky-jerky movement, that excessive movement he uses is going to last 5 rounds. I just don't feel like that style has a lot of longevity. That could just be my opinion. I could be wrong. Maybe he's going to be dancing the whole fight, moving so much the whole fight because he has crazy gas tank. He might have Marab gas tank. I don't know. But what I do know is Francis has been battle tested. He has won against the greatest of the weight class and everyone, and he's beaten them. And he not only beaten them, he's knocked them out. He put them to sleep, and he's shown diversity in everything he does. So that's why I look at people right now, and I say Francis Ngannou is the best heavyweight on the planet. And this is, let me just say, side note, for the 3 Kings, bro, this is just beautiful. Like, I feel like they needed this. You've seen someone like Kamaru Usman go through adversity in his last couple fights, seen him with Izzy, but you see Francis Ngannou come here and win. This is a great win for Africa, for his son, for Ngannou, just a good comeback win. This is the story we needed. I love this story, and I love it for Cameroon. Congrats, Cameroon. You have literally the best heavyweight in the world. This guy, and he's so respectful too. Like, man, it's like there's no one more deserving than Francis, bro. I know some of the casual fans who hate on him are upset, like, dude, whatever, man. Like, he's not even Cowabunga, dude. I still hate him, bro, because I'm a hater, dude. Well, fuck this guy. Like, bro, shut up, Nick. Y'all can hate on him all you want, but listen, he is the best heavyweight on the planet. He's better than your favorite fighter, and he will beat your favorite fighter. Francis Ngannou, bro, you are the king, bro. Have your crown. Listen, there's no way. I know Dana White, and I know people like Dana White are salty. People who like were trying to diminish him out of the UFC, saying that there's never been a Cameroon in the UFC outside of this some random guy that they said was the first Cameroonian fighter. Bro, we all know Francis Ngannou fought in the UFC. We all know he has the best resume in the heavyweight in the UFC. We all know he's the best heavyweight fighter on the planet, and he's fought in the UFC. So Dana White trying his best to diminish his who he was as a person, trying to say he's never fought in the UFC. We're not stupid. Maybe in 50,000 years, people are gonna forget about it, but this generation will not forget about it. Dana White will not forget about it. You can hate all you want. Francis Ngannou is the best heavyweight of all time, and he's not in the UFC, which is very concerning. If he was smart, bro, they would make the UFC the UFC and PFL will do some kind of collab where Francis Ngannou goes against Jones or Aspinall, because I really feel like Francis Ngannou deserves his flowers. So shout out Francis Ngannou, the best heavyweight on the planet. And if you got a problem with that, run my fate. I'm going to beat your ass. That's it for me, though. And God bless. And RIP Kobe. 2, 3, 4.